afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This afternoon, we thank you for joining us on our program, Focal Point. This is the second Focal Point program we are holding today, this wonderful day. And with me today in the studio is a man from a well-known man in Abia State and in his community, Ukwa. I have with me today Pastor Dike Nwankwo. Pastor, you're welcome.
You're welcome, my brother.
I remain Emenike Rebu, the anchor of this show. This morning, this afternoon, we'll be discussing with Pastor Dike, and we'll be looking at extreme issues as regards Ukwa people, their challenges, and the way forward. That's what we'll be looking into today. But before we continue, I would like Pastor Dike to give us an insight who he is. Pastor,
thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, my name, like you said, is Pastor Dike Nwankwo from Ukwa West Local Government Council, a passionate son of Asa. Ukwa West, we are known as Asa people, passionate son of Asa. So that's where I come from. And Ukwa West, it may interest you to know, is one of the local government areas in Abia State that God endowed with natural resources, natural mineral resources. We have Ukwa East and Ukwa West, but the oil is actually in Ukwa West. The Ukwa East is called the Ukwa People, and Ukwa West is called the Asa people. Even in River State, the current River State will have Asa people there, and we have Ukwa people there. So we're people, peace-loving people who love peace, who conduct themselves in such a manner that, does not allow for violence. We are known for that, and I think that is why we have always engaged in dialogue in all that we do. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome, Pastor. Of course, Ukwa people, as we all know, is the area in Abia State where we have oil. So most of the income Abia State makes via the what was it called? The 13% derivative is basically from Ukwa. And today we'll be dissecting exactly what are the challenges of Ukwa. If the government of Abia State have treated them fairly, if they have been treated unfairly, Pastor is going to tell us today, because we are with him on this show. Over the weekend I was in Ukwa West. I visited the Inner Galaxy Group, and we had some engagement with them. Obviously, most of your people too are working there. Yeah. We had some interactions with them because of the recent allegation of inhuman treatment of workers. But our revelations, which will also come live later on for Abians to see. Let's move straight into the issue. There are some clamors in the Ukwa land. Some of them are feeling as though they have been abandoned, as if Ukwa is no longer part of Abia State. In fact, I've heard somebody say that they would have desired to be in River State because of what they are feeling and the pains they're experiencing at the moment of Abia State. And most of us who are media people think maybe that's just in the realm of one of those allegations, political allegations, people desiring to have more from the government. What is your take on that position?
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. In fact, anybody who says that Ukwa people have been abandoned wouldn't be telling a lie. As a matter of fact, I am here because we have been doing a series we call What is Our Crime? What is Our Crime series? And that specifically looks at what actually have Ukwa people done that have made the government of Abia State not marginalize them. We must place it in perspective. Not marginalize them, but abandon Ukwa, alienate Ukwa completely. Abandon.
That's a very strong word.
No, I'm very, very sure of what I'm saying, and that's why I'm using the word abandonment. And I'm going to show you quickly. Now, I want to first of all, I want us to look at the issue of Obey Hasumidi Road. Now, this road was constructed by a government of Abia State.
Okay, very simple. Go on, Pastor. That same road will be on our screen for people to see.
Okay.
Pastor, go on.
Okay. That road was constructed by the government of Abia State under His Excellency former Governor Ojo Okaro. It was constructed from Owaza all the way to Azumini. Now, over the period, the state government does not even look at that road. In 2018, the road got so bad, it took NDDC to come and do some palliatives for our people to be able to pass the road. Now, in that same 2018, the governor of Abia State, His Excellency Dr. Okezi Bazo, came to Ukwa on a town hall meeting, and he told the TC chairman of Ukwa East and Ukwa West to bring an alternative road that he can construct so that he can alleviate the sufferings of the people, because it was obvious that the people were going through a lot. And that did not see the light of the day. We didn't see any road constructed till date. It took NEDC again to come and do some palliative, but right now, so speak, the area that passes through the local government headquarters up to Ukwa East is impassable. As you can see in the pictures, it's impassable.
Okay. That's the video of that particular road we are talking about, the Obe Azumini road.
Good.
Where it's the Pastor Dike is saying at the moment that it's impassable.
It's impassable.
Now, go on, Pastor.
It's impossible. And we are asking, why would the government allow our citizens to go through this? And we are the oil producing local government in Abia. We, whether anybody likes it or not, we are the ones that put food on the table of Abia. Now, what if we didn't have oil? Like states like Abu that doesn't have oil. So nobody would have remembered Ukwa at all. So if we are giving you that after you have shared your revenue for the month, we made you to have additional 13%. And in that 13%, you don't consider us at all. You don't have, and this is a place where the former Senate President comes from. As I speak now, I don't know. The former Senate President is a member of this government, is a member of PDP. I don't know how he goes to his place.
But Pastor, if you say you are not considered, it's some Abians will be wondering, what do you really mean by you're not considered? Because basically because of Ukwa, or SOPADEC was created to see how to meet the needs and solve the challenges of the people of the oil producing area communities. What's happening?
Before I get into SOPADEC.
Okay.
Before I get into SOPADEC, I want to exhaust this issue of Abia State government claiming that the road is a federal government road, because that's what we hear some of them talk about. Now, what is federal government road? The road will pass by your citizens. As I'm speaking to you now, the road that took you from Igrita to Iche to Ngopala in Imo State is a federal road. But because of the huge traffic occasioned by the Port Harcourt road issues, almost all the traffic were diverted to that road. That road got broken down. As I speak to you now, not yesterday, the government of Rivers State is fixing that road. It's a federal road. Why? Because it is concerned on the problems the citizens are going through on that road. Now, few weeks ago, it was on the news, you know better, that the River State government got a refund of 78.9 billion from the federal government. What was it for? The former governor of River State, Chief, His Excellency Rotimi Chibika Mechi, did all kinds of road. He did the road leading from Port Harcourt to Owerri, boundary between River State and Owerri. He did interchange, we call it Owerri interchange, a flyover, and many different government roads. Today, it has become a windfall for them. They are enjoying it. Have you heard that Abia State got a refund from the federal government before? Have you heard? So, and they are telling you it's federal government road. So, if it's federal government road, so the people should be cut off. We were told that our brother that died was former commissioner of environment,
yes,
Dr. Gunchi, who was my teacher in secondary school those days. If that man will be buried now, governor told us he was his childhood friend. The governor will not be able to attend that burial. There is no road for him to attend the burial.
You mean that the road is that bad that
look at it on the screen?
The governor cannot be able to assess
all we ask for
his bosom friend's burial?
All we ask for do is a little palliative on the road. We know that CC&C company, under the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, contracted the road to them. But do something so that your citizens can pass. And we're asking for too much. And rather than get that done, what the governor is rewarding Ukwa people who massively supported him. In fact, the kind of followership the governor had in Ukwa is unimaginable. They gave him all the support. You don't say we used to hear PDP all the way, PDP all the way, PDP all the way. And now we are asking them what is the way. Because you can't see anything on ground. Now, what the governor in his wisdom thinks he can reward Ukwa people with is a cattle market. And that is not even a problem. The problem is the narrative behind the cattle market. They said that the cattle market is to be relocated from Obohil, Aba, to Obe. I know what they said. They said because of the nuisance the cattle market is causing in Obohil, Aba. So indirectly, what the governor is saying that Ukwa should be the nuisance capital of Abia State. Ukwa should be the nuisance capital of. Is that fair for a people that produce the oil you are using in your state?
But Pastor Dike, let's so that we would not probably gear it off the way.
Okay.
The government, I want to now bring back the issue of the cattle market.
Yes.
And the government said that Aba is like one of the capital nerve center of the state, and where a lot of traffic passes through every day. Activities are so much in Aba, and then moving that cattle market out of that place could make it a more decent place. But then they also say that that particular area where they have seen in Obe is not as if it's very close to your main town. Doesn't that make sense?
That is laughable. That is laughable because, in the first instance, let me even put it in perspective clearly. The issue is that the land in question does not even belong to the person that sold it. The real owners of the land are in court.
Of that same land?
Yes, they are in court. It's unfortunate that the people that are around the government are not telling the government the truth. The real owners of the land are in court. That's number one. Before you cite something in a place, that's what they call needs assessment. What does Ukwa people need? We are crying that we are marginalized and abandoned, and you're bringing a cattle market. Is that what we need? When during the election they told people that Buhari was bringing Nama to our people. That was what they were saying. Now, it's no longer Buhari that's bringing the Nama. It is now our governor that's bringing the Nama. No. We know the issues associated with those that trade on cattle. We know the issues. It's obvious. And that's why you saw the protest from our people.
Now, why don't we now question the capacity of your representatives who are in this government? You have House of Assembly members, you have members in this same government. What have they done in this extent to see how to actually speak up?
They must have been doing their bit. I don't know. But then, we cannot all sit back. An Irish political philosopher, Edmund Burke, said, evil triumph if good people decide doing nothing. We cannot sit back because we have people in government. We don't know their conscience. We don't know their level of passion. We don't know. Anybody can be compromised. But what we are saying is that we can no longer sit back and watch these things continue. As a matter of fact, Ukwa people can't breathe. We can't breathe anymore.
Pastor, is this your opinion as an individual against the cattle market, or do you think your view is more or less a general view in Ukwa land?
My view,
as regards the cattle market.
The cattle market is a no-no. If it was my view, why did you see the protest? Was I the one that protested? My mother protested. The president of our Asa Development Union, Dr. Ukwa Dike, led the protest. Is the president of Asa Cultural Union. Every village in Ukwa West participated in that protest. You see the women see on the highways. They participated in the protest to show their displeasure over that. Now, you cannot give a people what they don't want. Rather than leave us the way we are. Since you have decided not to attend to us, leave us the way we are. Don't make our situation worse. So what we're saying.
As regards the cattle market, let's finish that story.
Yes.
What is the position of Ukwa people, and what steps are they taking at this moment that government have been seeing?
Yes,
the market there.
Most of our sons in government have gone on a delegation to meet the government. Incidentally, it was when the governor was not on stage. They met with the deputy governor, and they promised they look into it. But then you know how government works. We don't want to keep quiet so that no water will pass under the bridge. We are saying no to that. We will not take that. Ukwa people will not take a cattle market in Ukwa land. We will not take that. The message must get to the governor. Because what we have discovered in government is that the governor is not told the truth more often than not. He doesn't get to know the truth. What the people are saying. Somebody can say, oh, Your Excellency, we'll take care of that. We'll take care of that. We'll take care of the people. It's just one or two disgruntled elements that are trying to foment trouble. They paint a picture to the governor that the people talking are not. See, the truth of the matter for His Excellency to note is that Ukwa people do not want a cattle market. We don't want it. There are a lot of things he can do for us.
Okay, I think we have discussed much on the cattle market issue. You've talked about also the Obehe Azumini Road.
Yes.
What do you think if the governor calls you today and said, Pastor Dike Nwankwo, what exactly are two basic things that Ukwa people need now?
Two things.
Yes, let's start from two.
Two. Infrastructure and human capital development. What do I mean? Now, the Obehe Azumini Road I mentioned is just one. And why I mentioned it and mentioned that it was the state government that did it is to remind the governor that the road is called a federal road was done by a government of Abia State. In fact, I have to put this on record that it was that government of Ojuzoka. People, you may like him, you may not like him, but that is not important. Ukwa people take him very highly because it was his government that remembered Ukwa. It was only his government.
So you are saying it was the government of Dr. Ojuzoka
that did the road,
that did that particular road,
and not only doing the road, remembered Ukwa and gave an Ukwa son a prominent position in government. SSG, Pastor Afebu.
That's Pastor Afebu.
Good. It was only that government. So nobody can tell us. We know what is happening, and we will always appreciate who does well. 8 years of His Excellency T.O.G. Not a block was laid in Opaland. Not a block.
Not even healthcare centers and stuff like that.
8 years of T.O.G. Apart from a school block that was done by Shopee. What was the federal government? Shopee is federal government. That was all. 8 solid years. In a place where you get the oil that oil the state, that powers the state. It's unacceptable. It's satanic.
Okay, let's come back to Osopadek.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I believe that some Abians will be wondering, as much as I am, that you are complaining so much like this bitterly, where the government has established an agency to take care of oil producing communities in Abia State. That's Osopadek. What have they done to touch the life of Ukwa people?
Thank you very much. Very good question. A lot of people, our friends, say the same thing. I feel people are crying too much. What is your problem? You were giving NDDC. You were giving Asopadek. What are you crying about? Now, let's start from Asopadek. Asopadek, in the first instance, if it was genuinely constituted, didn't need to have their headquarters in Umuahia. Asopadek headquarters in Umuahia is wrong. Was wrong, ab initio. The reason is because if you want to attend to the needs of the people, you must get close to the people. Why is NDDC not headquartered in Abuja? Why is it not headquartered in Abuja? Because the federal government wants the people to feel the impact of the intervention. They are called intervention agencies. Now, you keep Asopadek in Umuahia, cut the people off. They don't have, if you go to Asopadek office in Umuahia, there is nothing showing that Ukwa has a stake there, apart from the fact that the chairman is from Ukwa. Now the question is, how much power does he have? What is the budget? Who controls the projects? Who apportions the projects? These are the issues. Now, in Ukwa, as we speak today, you have a picture of the Asopadek.
Yes, we have a picture of the Asopadek
office at Obe. Overgrown with weeds.
It's on our screen at the moment now, yes?
Overgrown with weeds. That's the office. Overgrown with weeds. Apart from the SUV that are gifted to some traditional rulers, that's the only time we see something like
Did the SUV get to all the traditional rulers in Ukwaland?
Yeah, none of them have complained, so I want to assume that they all got it. But that is, which road would they pass with the SUVs?
Maybe, you know.
Which road would they pass? It's wrong priority. We love our traditional rulers, we respect them, but giving them SUVs at the detriment of the people is there's no signature project.
When you say at the detriment of the people,
because there is nothing for the people to see.
Would you have be more happy if that fund for the SUV was plowed into a project of the people in Ukwa?
There wouldn't have been need to compare the two, because you can give the traditional rulers SUV and still do the project. Yeah, of course, because you haven't done any apart from renovation of market that cannot house up to 200 people. That's all we hear about Asopadek. But we hear Asopadek doing roads in Bende, doing roads in Obingwa, doing roads in Ibeku, doing roads all over the place. So why would Asopadek not do roads, meaningful projects in Ukwaland, if it was meant for us? Okay, you give us chairman, so we can sleep. You give us an Okaman is chairman of Asopadek, so what? What has that brought into the economic life of Ukwa people? Nothing. If the capital, the headquarters of Asopadek was sited at Obe, two things will happen. The economic life of Ukwa will change, because a lot of senior staffs, all the staff of Asopadek would have been resident at Obe. Now people will begin to build hotels, decent accommodations, all kinds of business to thrive. And the people will be going there, yeah, this is our own thing, this is our thing, and all of. We are not saying that Ukwa should take everything that comes from oil. No. We're not selfish people. I'm not saying so. But cutting us off they said the geese that lay the golden eggs, it is satanic. I told my people that this is evil. It's not only, we shouldn't be looking at it politically.
Pastor, you've talked about it being evil, being
yes.
evil, being
yes.
evil. But the point again is that, are you going to say that some of your elites are not involved in this challenge that the Ukwa people are passing through? Because if some of them are actually speaking up as you are speaking up, I think a lot of things would have been solved. Or have at their mouth feel that they are eating, that they cannot talk. Of course, they cannot talk.
I don't want to speak for them. I don't want to speak for them. But I am convinced about what I'm saying. And I know that what I'm saying is the mind of my people. I'm convinced about what I'm saying. I don't, he said, the same philosopher said, when you refuse to do what you should do because of the fear you could do little, that's a greatest mistake. So maybe most of them feel, because we have appointments, we don't need to talk much. But I have a belief that it is only God who can place you where you will be.
Okay,
So whatever is their fear, whether they have a fear or not, why you have not heard their voice, because you say you have not heard their voice, is their problem. But we are all not going to keep quiet. We can't keep quiet.
Okay, my viewers, today we are interacting with Pastor Dike Nwankwo. We are looking at the challenges of Ukwa people in general, and he is, of course, voicing his opinion on the issues that are being raised on this discussion today. Remember that this is AF Television on the AF News platform. Also, you need to know that you can tweet at us, you can send your comment, you can send your opinions on our WhatsApp number or SMS number, which will be on the screen now for you to see. You can also tweet at us at AF News NG on Twitter and on Instagram. Let's enjoy this program together. Pastor,
yes, sir.
Thank you for coming. We are still on our program. Let's discuss further. We've talked about Usopadek. What of NDDC? NDDC also is an interventionist agency. And of course, last time that the former the managing director of NDDC came, the lady,
yeah.
She talked about projects dotted all around Ukwa that have not been finished, that are abandoned projects. What exactly is your view concerning NDDC and its response to Ukwa people?
Well, NDDC is a huge discourse. Of course, you know what is happening, today in Nigeria about NDDC. But I want to limit my focus to Ukwa, to Abia State, because NDDC is not just for Ukwa, it's for Abia State. Our challenge we don't have any problem with the federal government. Government has done what it's supposed to do by way of legislation. Because we had Ompadek before, under the government of General Ibrahim Babangida. Obasanjo came in 1999 and felt that this should be well constituted in law. And that was what gave rise to the act of NDC in year 2000. NDC Act of year 2000. The commission now was reconstituted, and by the act, Ukwa people represent Abia in the board of NDDC. And since then, it has been so. But we notice something. Ukwa does not have a voice in who becomes the commissioner. These things are foisted on them externally. And whoever pays the piper dictates the tune. So we find a situation where Abia State has a budget every year in NDDC. All the 9 states, they have budgets. And it is according to the quota of production of oil. Now, and Abia seems to be the least. So, in the project of NDDC for Abia, what is in it for Ukwa West? That's the greatest question we've been asking, but we're following up. What you find in Ukwa, for example, solar light, and some 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer asphalt roads. For example, we had a town hall, Ukwa Civic Hall at Obe, a functional hall, big hall, people use for weddings and occasions and all of that. Suddenly there was a contract to build a modern town hall there. If we had known what we know today, we would have asked them to leave that place and look for another portion of land and do that. Because as we speak, Ukwa people people don't have a place they can sit. Can you beat that? Ukwa don't have a place they can meet today.
That is the hall has not been completed.
It's you. I have the picture. You can show the viewers the picture. It's been like that for more than 7 years. What is in completing a town hall? If it's not a calculated attempt to undo a people, what is it completing? Something that individuals can take up and do. Look at the town hall. It's on the screen. They will show it on the screen. It has not been completed. It's an NDDC project. Now, NDDC has not made any millionaire in Okwa. There are no contractors, NDDC contractors from Okwa. Now you can beat their chest and say, this one is an NDDC contractor that can stand and say, okay, I can help in solving the problems of the people based on the proceeds of what I've got from NDDC. So sometimes we begin to wonder, is this NDDC more of a curse or a blessing? Is it a curse or a blessing? But in other areas of the state, you find a kind of quality of roads, quality of intervention jobs that are done in other places. The people that do these things, scope these things in the budget, don't they have conscience? That's the question. Don't they have conscience? In 2017, let me just shock you. 2017, NDDC gave 17 scholarship awards. 17. 2 were for PhDs. 15 was for MScs. No Ukwa West person got one. By right, not privilege. Ukwa was supposed to make 50% of that list. By right, not privilege. Not one person. And these same people are still peaceful till today.
This thing still boils down to what the question I earlier asked you. Because you find out that most of these laws needs people to activate them. They need people to actually deliberate for it. They need people to ask for it. That's why we have National Assembly members and other leaders.
Sure.
But if you are saying all the things you are saying, is that another indictment on some leaders who are expected to do their job and who's not doing it?
I may not say
totally or you don't want to just lay any blame on them?
No, I may not want to say totally no or yes. But my vision and passion is that the right things must be done. I don't want to begin to lay blames and leave the issue. That's not the point. The point is that these things have not been done, and they need to be done. And we need to tell whoever cares to know that these things needs to be done. That's my concern.
So, Pastor, from the angle of the Abia State government,
yes,
what do you think is the way forward from now?
The way forward is sincerity of purpose concerning Ukwa people. There's a whole lot of deceit.
That brings me to that question of the Ukwa and Ungwa relationship.
Oh, that for me,
which of course we have made known is a good relationship.
Good.
Is a buoyant relationship.
Good.
Is a relationship that have been fruitful for both Ukwa and Ungwa because
Yes.
they are one. Every election we have with Ukwa and Ungwa. What is your take on that relationship as
for
regards
us,
this project?
For us in Ukwa axis, the way that slogan has been carried on, it doesn't favor us. And it makes some of us to feel it's a sham. Because it only resonates during elections. You don't hear it after elections. As a matter of fact, another slogan comes on after elections. Ohangwa. The Okwangwa is before elections.
Okay, the Ukwa is before
elections.
Ohangwa.
Post the election, you hear Ohangwa.
Is after election.
Yes. You can't hear Okwangwa after elections. You cannot. That is the truth. Otherwise, when people were crying and agitating that, the Abia South has been neglected and all of that, the former governor said, I'm going to give government to your son, somebody from Abia South, so that he can take care of Abia South. Whether that would be an excuse to pardon the former governor, I wouldn't know. But he did hand over power to an Abia South person. We should have become a thing of joy. But we, in Ukwa, I am still telling you that we were better off in the government of 1999, 2007, which was from Abia North.
You people are still better off.
I said we were better.
The 1999 leadership of Dr. Ojuzokalo.
Good, we are better off. That is the fact. Anybody can argue it anywhere. That's the fact. All the leaders you find now in Ukwa, they were made during that government.
Okay, let's even look at politics now a little bit.
Yes.
Politics, but the politics of Abia South.
Yes.
Obviously, the governor is from a local government in Abia South, Obingwa.
Yes.
The senator is also from a local government in Abia South, Obingwa.
Yeah.
Where is Ukwa in all this political arithmetic?
A very beautiful question that every right-thinking person should ask. You know why it's annoying? Why it's annoying and provocative is when you find the same people pointing accusing fingers to the North. That the North has marginalized the South. The North doesn't want the South to breathe. The same people are sitting tight on what is supposed to rotate amongst brothers. Ukwa held sway in the Senate 1999 to 2007. And we relinquished it to our Ukwa brothers. Since that time till now. And I don't think they have a plan to release it again. And you still will be talking about a lack of equity, talking about marginalization in Nigerian project, talking about these things. And you want people to take it seriously? Is it not the Englishman that says charity begins at home? Of course, charity must begin at home. So what we are saying is that even in the structure, we are not there. Okay, let's come to Abia State. With the way Ukwa labored and worked for the government of PDP and enthroned a PDP government, one would have expected that when the governor came from Obingwa, the speaker came from Umuahia, the deputy governor came from, I think, Abia North. One would have thought that when another position that was coming to Abia South, which was the leader, came, he would have come to Ukwa. Or SSG. Ukwa have credible men. Credible men who can man these positions. We have them in their numbers.
Are you sure? Because
we have them.
Is it not as a result of lack of men?
No, it cannot be possible. Lack of men, how? Am I not a man? And I'm one of the numerous...
You are a man.
What are we talking about? So, man, are you going to import men? We have men. We have credible men who can do this thing. Okay, where did Dr. Josokalo find Pastor Dike? He imported him. I'm asking you now, did he import him?
Of course he did not.
Of course. So the people are there. There is a conscious effort to sideline us.
But there is something also I observe about Ukwa people also. But of course I will not generalize it. Some few people, there's a tendency of some people shouting and shouting and shouting, and immediately they get some appointment in government. All the agitations of Ukwa is marginalized, Ukwa is this, Ukwa. After they get, they just go in and begin to sleep.
What I want to say about that is, what it means that the shout was not genuine. The shout was not genuine. Because what I'm telling you now is not born out of any interest to get anything. By the grace of God, I'm not asking for anything from this government. Okay? So it's a passion to let the governor, His Excellency Dr. Ukwa, know the truth. I don't hate him. I love him. There's nobody who will hate the governor. The governor is a likable person. He looks a peaceful man. He doesn't know me. We have not met. But he looks a peaceful man. And when somebody speaks, it's difficult to bring issues of violence around such a person. He's an amiable person. But the truth of the matter is that I don't know whether he knows what we're saying. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
So those people that cry and you give them something, they close mouth. They are not genuine criers.
Okay, Abians and Nigerians.
We're crying for their stomach.
Urban Nigerians, we're still on the program Focal Point, and I have with me Pastor Dike Nwankwo. We're showing the challenges of Ukwa people, and we are the final lap of this interaction. But this final lap will be very interesting, so we want to still keep hooked up, and let's move forward from there. Some few months ago, there was also a clash between some agents of our state government and some youths in Ukwa as regards is it free trade zone project or something like that, which created some disagreements. What actually is your position on that project and the people of Ukwa?
It's laughable because that is what we are saying. They dump highfalutin, audio, bogus White Elephant project on us.
How are you going to call that audio? That's not audio.
Oh, it's audio because there's nothing happening there. What is audio? It's nothing happening there. Now I'll give you a list now. Don't be in a hurry. It started with Ukwa City. You have heard about Ukwa City before, don't you? Now, that project took the lands of our people. We are farmers. That project took the lands of our people. And they accepted because we are a peace-loving people, development-oriented people. We want development. They accepted. Now, this is how many years, sir? Is there any place called Ukwa City?
None I know about.
Even the signboard has disappeared. Before, when you're going to Port Harcourt, you see the signboard, Ukwa City. Now, you can't find the signboard again. Yet the land is still has not gone back to the people. It's still government land. If the government had a vision, they say that government is a continuum. Government had a vision and their time elapsed. It was the duty of the incoming government to take it up from there. But since then till now, that project has died. That is one. Two, the one that they are trying to talk about, the Enyimba economic city. Which economic city? Which economic city? Which economic city? Now, because of that, in the process of also trying to grab land, they killed an innocent youth in Ukwa West. Many of us raised our voices. They killed an innocent who wanted to do a child dedication of his child the next Sunday. Harmless. He didn't have any gun with him. Nothing with him. But do not till now. Nobody has told us the updates on that matter. The trigger-happy policeman who shot that young man, we don't know his position. Has he been sacked? Is he serving punishment anywhere? We don't know. Nobody has given us details. And we have people in government who should. Nobody has said, and the governor did not come there. Nobody has said, okay, this is what I'm doing for the family, for losing such a person. Till now. All in the name of this project, Enyimba Economic City, that will all the way from Abia to pass villages. How? Now you want to take lands again
for the cattle market now.
No, for the economic city. Now what's the economic city?
Yes.
You want to take, and again, you have not finished that. You came again for cattle market. Is that not purposeful? Is that not intentional that these people want to impoverish our people?
But the truth is that, Pastor,
yes.
Let's also look at, sometimes projects the government may have good intention to execute projects, and sometimes maybe it does not work the way the intention was. Don't you think that if that Enyimba Economic City come to fusion and Ukwa,
when?
Don't you think it will be a massive project that will affect the life of people?
No, we are looking at antecedents, sir. We are looking at antecedents. If you made a promise before and you fulfilled it, yes, we take you seriously. There is no promise you have made that you have kept. And you want people to take you serious? It's not possible. Unless the people are insane, it's not possible. You have said many things. Like I told you in 2018, there was a town hall meeting. The governor came and promised he would do a road. Till today, he has not done anything. Did he forget? Okay, I'm reminding him now. I'm using this minute to remind His Excellency that he promised to Ukwa people he would do an alternative route. He has not done it. And you're bringing a massive economic city. And you're taking the lands of our people again, the only means of livelihood. The same way they took from Ukwa City. And it has even cost a life. Somebody has died. And nothing has been done. Whereas, there are viable projects that if the governor and the government of Abia State invest, everybody will be serving them in Ukwa West. And these projects are not necessarily projects that the governor needs to put money. Like the Ogbe chicken, for example. Ogbe chicken was conceived by the then government of Barrister Simon Akambakwe. We have a prototype of it in Afoto, in Imo State. German companies brought in equipment. It was supposed to be massive mechanized poultry farming. Are you telling me that the government of Abia State cannot revitalize that project? The land is still there. Last 2, 3, 4 months ago, we got a hint that land was supposed to be given for Ruga. The people also protested. The land was given for poultry, mechanized poultry farming, and that is what it remains for. Anytime any government, maybe who knows, a government that will come tomorrow that can help us start. That is one. I want to give you. That's one. If government does something there, Ukwa people will be glad and will appreciate. And the government does not need to bring in state money. Only your seal, the seal of power. Open up. I want investors in this area. My brother, they will come. The government does not need to spend money. Tell the people, see, I want you to partner with the state to do this. They will come. We will tell them, we will bring if they don't know. We know that we'll bring them. That's one. Two, Abia Palm. You know the viability of oil.
Of course.
Have you gone to Abia Palm?
I have not been there before.
If you go there, you'll be asking, what are the SAs and BAs of government doing? What are they doing? What are they advising? What are they assisting on? Huge resources wasted. Huge. When I mean huge. There are 1,001 companies that want to come and establish a mill there and create jobs for people, generate revenue for Abia State, and all these things you are hearing, you won't hear them.
Pastor, we have a comment here on our interaction this afternoon. One,
yes.
MC Richard Ejiofor said, CEO, he said, well done, the CEO of AF News Television. It is sad to acknowledge the situation. If Abia citizens and the greed to power of a few leaders, Abia, as oil-producing state, no matter how small, receives funds from NDDC, yet no impact. The fault is not the governor alone, but co-responsibility of all the commissioners in the state. Power sharing should be all-inclusive and gainful to the people. That's what Mr. Ejiofor is saying on our discussion. But just like we're saying, we're talking about way forward. We're on the rounding up.
I just told you two.
Yes.
I want to tell you the third one.
Yes, at least you end on that third one.
Good, third one. I'll marry it to the two. There are two to one. There's a school, there's what they call science technology school at Owaza. It was a contract that was awarded by the Ministry of Natural Data Resources. Huge investment there already. At Owaza? Owaza, yes. Nothing is happening there. What states do, sir? What states do is that states lobby ministries, departments, and agencies of government to ensure that whatever project is cited in their state sees the light of the day. That's what states do. Because they know that when those projects are commissioned, it will impact very wonderfully in the state. It will create jobs. Revenue will increase. That project has been lying fallow there. Nobody's talking about it at all. We were trying to push whether it can be used as a petroleum institute. It has land. It has structures. Nobody's talking about it. That's one. There was a time we were hearing about modular refineries at Owaza Steel. What is in modular? Recently, the governor of Edo State took people around to show a site of modular refineries that they were constructing. It's not the government that will do these things. Imagine a modular refinery operational and functional at Owaza in Ukwa West Local Government Council. Activity will be too much for the youth to have time to even run around for anything. There will be so much activities.
Okay, Pastor, let's move forward. You have also a conclusion to make on the Osopadek and the NDDC. Please, we want you in a minute or two. Give us a way forward. Osopadek and NDDC, what do you think is the way forward?
The way forward for Osopadek is that the governor should be intentional, purposeful in alleviating the sufferance of the oil-bearing communities. Let it not be one of the agencies of government as it is seen now. Whatever they are doing in Nomahead does not reflect. It doesn't show in the life of the people there. What is the budget of Osopadek? How much of the budget impacts in Ukwa West, where the oil comes from? That is one. The governor must be intentional about it. If you want to develop Ukwa, let us see it. Let it be visible. The structure is there. Osopadek is a structure. It's on ground. Now, how much are you using this structure to drive the development? How much are you doing that? We are not seeing that. We're not seeing that. If governor wants to do something, he can use that vehicle. He can use that vehicle to drive it. He can.
So NDDC?
NDDC also, we are trusting God that Mr. President, in his wisdom, will appoint a trusted person in this incoming board who will ensure that the right things are done for our people, who will make the voice of Ukwa people heard, who will ensure that everything is not given away to the detriment of the people. We are, like I said earlier, I am not one of those who say, because you have oil, everything should be you people should. No. Let it be shared. Let us have our own fair share. Let others have their own fair share. Let us have our own share. Don't take everything.
Okay, we are still on our show, though we are rounding up now. We are still on Focal Point program with Pastor Dike Nwankwo, where we are discussing the challenges of Ukwa people and the way forward. Finally, tributes, finally, from you, what's your final position on everything entirely?
Yes, I will not fail to appreciate our leaders, most of our trusted, passionate leaders in Ukwa land. The likes of Sir Mark Wambara. He's a man, if you encounter him, he loves Ukwa. He thinks Ukwa. He speaks Ukwa. He's ready to fight for Ukwa. He sleeps, he thinks, he wakes up, he talks about Ukwa. He is not happy. As I'm not happy, he's not happy. Now, this is a man who, in every community, when he heads where as the chief executive of Hallmark Bank, ensured that almost every community had somebody as a staff. He's on record. Unbeaten record. And we don't play with him. Because we know that a man who is passionate will never undermine his people. We never sell his people. We never disregard his people. We never accept a crumb and sell his people. We have people like Elder Chibike Kano. He's the owner of Civic Schools at Obe, doing tremendous charity work in Ukwa. People cry to him. He has created jobs. People are working in the school. People are doing all kinds of things. He helps community. Even the police station, he helps the community. And many others who are working so hard to ensure that even these youths we are talking about are not restive. There are leaders in Ukwa whose job has been to maintain the sanity, the sanctity, full coexistence and disposition of Ukwa people so that it does not degenerate. Because most of these things I'm telling you are very provocative.
Okay, Pastor, I want you to look at the camera in this film in a minute and talk to Ukwa youth, because we know that the situations which you have described can be provocative, and we want peace in Abia State, and we want peace also in Ukwa, because without no peace, there will be obviously no development and there will be no progress. What do you have to say?
Yes, before I talk to my youths in Ukwa, I want to first of all appreciate seriously the efforts, good works that the president of our development union and his team have been doing. Dr. Onwubiko Dike, it's been fantastic. They've been doing a great job sensitizing the people, carrying the people along, ensuring that Ukwa has a voice. We want to appreciate you, sir, and your men. We appreciate, and our God will reward you. Now, to my youths, I was once a student union president, so I want to appreciate you for being who you have been. Ukwa is not known to be violent, and that's why we are engaging in dialogue. But I can assure you, our voices must be heard this time. Enough of sidelining Ukwa people, enough of mortgaging our interests, enough of few individuals taking advantage of us and allowing the entire people to die in poverty. We have decided to speak out. And I want you to maintain restraint because, of course, we are not known for violence. We are going to coordinate ourselves and ensure that this government will respond to us. And indeed, they will respond to us. All that we have highlighted, I am very sure and confident that the governor is a listening governor. He's going to swing into action. I know that he will do something because it's factual. It's not propaganda. This is not political. This is purely what is on ground. A talk to these areas and to these things we highlighted will prove that we are saying the truth. So I want to implore all the youths in Ukwa land, both east and west, to maintain restraint. Let's continue to be peaceful because the best is yet to come. And we are driving it and it must come. Thank you very much.
Yes, we want to thank you, Pastor, for coming to the city to interact with us. I want to thank Ukwa people for being peaceful. And we're believing that everything Pastor have narrated today, that the government on ground, both NDDC and Asopadek, will step up on the pedal to make sure they meet the need of the people and make the people smile. This remains focal point, and my name is Emenike Rebu, the anchor of the show. Thank you for this wonderful interaction. Thank you for staying tuned with us today. Thank you.